So to create the contact page, we'll come up to the menu and click Contact. And once you're on the contact page, go to the top and click Enable Visual Builder. And we're going to go ahead and build this page from scratch as well. So we'll come down here and click Start Building. And I'm going to choose a 1-column row. And I want to open a call to action module. So I'll type call. Oops. There we go. Click call to action. I'm going to go ahead and click this button to close it because I want to add my background image first. So what I want to do now is I want to show you 3 websites where you can get some beautiful high resolution photos for your website that are completely free. You can use these photos for both commercial and personal projects, so you don't have to worry about any copyright infringement. So I'm going to come up here and open a new tab, and in Google I'm going to type free stock photos. And the first one is Unsplash. Second one is Pexels. And the third one is Pixabay. So what I want to do is I want to find a photo of the city of Los Angeles, since that's where our business is located and this is our contact page. And I want it to be a bird's eye photo. So I'm going to come here to the search box, type Los Angeles. And I'll do the same on Pexels and Pixabay. And I'm just going to scroll down here so you can see these stunning photos. I mean, these photos are beautiful. Look at this here. I love this photo here. Los Angeles at night. You have some cool time lapse with the blurred headlights and taillights. If I come over here and click free download, they give you 4 different sizes to choose from. You can download and they're all free. I mean, 2201 by 1468, I mean, that's huge. 1920 by 1280, that's full screen size. I mean, I can just keep scrolling. They have some really nice photos of Los Angeles. Same thing if I go over to Pexels. Some really nice high resolution photos are all free. And Unsplash, they have some really nice photos as well. And I want to find a bird's eye view photo of downtown Los Angeles. I like this one right here. So if I click on it, it shows a larger image. And if I come up here, I'll click the download free button. And you can see it's downloading. I'm going to go ahead and close all these tabs. And I'm going to come back to my section module settings and click the gear icon. I'm going to go to background and click the image icon and click add background image. And I'm going to go ahead and go up here and click upload files, select files, and I'm going to navigate to my downloads folder because I just downloaded that photo. And here it is right here. So I'll select it. And it may take a couple seconds to upload because it's a pretty large image. I'm going to go ahead and click this off down here. Once your image is uploaded, you come down to the right here and click upload an image. And you can see it adds it to the page right away. And I want to make this a parallax background. So I'll come down here, use parallax effect and click yes. And I also want to put a color overlay on top of the image. So I'll come over here and click this icon. I'll click add background gradient. And I'll come down here and add my first color. And I have those colors saved. So I'm going to navigate to my website folder. And here it is right here. So I'll copy this. I'm going to minimize this and close this window. And I'll highlight the hashtag and right click and paste. And I'll click the green check mark. Now I'll add the second color. Paste it, click the green check mark. And now what I'm going to do is scroll down here and I want my color overlay to appear on top of the image. So I'll come down here where it says place gradient above background image and I'll click yes. And as you can see, nothing happened. It didn't place the color on top of the image. And that's because by default, Divi doesn't allow you to have a color gradient background on top of the background image if the background image is parallax, if you have this turned on. So if you remember, on the home page, we had to add some custom CSS. And this time we're going to add the custom CSS in a different way. Before we did it on the back of the page. So I'm going to go ahead and save the changes here. I'm going to expand the menu and save the page. And I'm going to go ahead and exit the Visual Builder. We can come over here and where it says your website name, come down here and I'm going to right click on Dashboard and click Open Link in New Tab. And I'm going to slide that over here. And we're going to come down here where it says Divi. Click on Theme Options. And this is the Divi Theme Options menu. If you scroll all the way down, this is where you can add custom CSS right in this box here. So I'm going to click here, hit the Enter button twice to add 2 spaces. And I'm going to come down and navigate to my website folder. And I'll go to the home page, extras included, and custom CSS. And here's the custom CSS I provide in the video description. So I'm going to copy this. I'll minimize this window, close this. I'll come in here, right click, and paste. And once I'm ready to save the changes, I'll come down here and click Save Changes. I'll come back here and I'll close this window. And now I'm going to enable the Visual Builder. Come back into the section module settings. Come over and click the Advanced tab. Come over to CSS ID and classes and open this. And here we have to put in the CSS class for the CSS code we just added. So I provide that as well. So I'll come over here. And here it is right here. I'll copy this. I'll close this. Right click, paste. And now you can see our color overlay has appeared on top of our parallax background. So I'm going to go ahead and save the changes. I'll expand this menu and save the page. Okay, now let's go ahead and stylize this call to action module. So we'll come up here to the module settings and click the gear icon. And I'm going to move this over to the left so you can see things better. And where it says title, I'm going to go ahead and delete this and type contact. There we go. I'm going to come down here and in the body section, I'm going to delete this dummy text. And I'm going to go ahead and type, "We want to hear from you." There we go. Next, I'm going to get rid of this green background color. So I'll click on background and I'll click this trash can here. And that deletes the color. Now we'll go to the design tab. And I want to stylize this title text here. So I'll click title text. And I'm going to change the font to Montserrat. I'll leave it regular. I want to make these all capitals. So I'll click here. There we go. Next, I want to change the color. So I'm going to click the eyedropper here. And I could use the color palette if I wanted to choose a color. But I already have a color that I want to use. So I'm going to come down here. And here's the color I want to use right here. So I'll copy that. Right click and paste. And I'll click the green check mark here. Next, I want to make my title a lot larger so it's easier to see. So I'll click here under title text size and I'll just drag to the right and you can see my title is getting larger. And we'll make it 70 pixels. That looks good. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to stylize the body text here. So I'll scroll up here, close this, click body text, and I'll leave it default, font regular. I'll leave it white. I just want to make the font larger, so I'll click body text size and I'll just drag to the right. And I'll make it 24 pixels. That looks good. I'm going to save the changes. And I'll come down here and save the page. Now what I want to do is I want to add some top padding to my background image here so we see more of it. So I'm going to come up here to the section module settings and click the gear icon. And I'll click design, spacing, and here's padding, top. I'm going to click here and just drag to the right. And you can see as I drag it adds the padding on top. Take it to 250. That looks good. Now I'm just going to decrease the margin a bit, top margin, so I'll drag over here. And we'll take it down. Get down to 150. There we go. That looks better. I like that. That looks good. Okay. See our nice heliport here. Okay, I'm going to click and save the changes here. And I'm going to click here and save the page. Alright, so let's keep going. We're going to come down to the bottom and create a new section. So we'll click this blue circle, add a new section, and we'll make it a regular section. And I'm going to make it a 1-column row. And I'm going to add a blurb module. So type blurb. Click blurb. And right now I'm just going to save the changes and click this off. And what I want to do first is I'm going to come down here and I want to add a cloud divider so that it looks like we're up in the clouds, peeking over the clouds and down onto the city. So I'm going to come over here to the section module and click the gear icon. And I'm going to go to design, dividers, and I want it to be a top divider because I want it up here. And I'm going to scroll down here to the list, divider style list, click that. And I'm just going to come down here and I'm going to choose this cloud divider here. Okay, now I want to change the background color. I don't want it to be black. I'm going to choose this blue color here. That looks nice. And everything else looks good. So I'm going to save the changes. Now what I want to do is I'm going to go into the row settings here, click the gear icon. And I want to give it a background color of white. So we'll go to background, add background color. And actually I can just come down here and choose white. There we go. Next I'm going to go to design. And what I want to do is, you can kind of see the top of the row here. I want to slide this row up so it's kind of above the clouds a little bit. So first I'm going to equalize the column heights because I'm going to have 3 columns here. I want them to be the equal heights. And I'm going to close sizing. Now I'm going to go into spacing and I want to move this row up a bit. So I'm going to go to top margin and I'm going to click here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to decrease the margin. And you can see as I decrease, it moves upward. And I'm just going to keep going until I have it where I want it. That's looking good. Maybe not quite that far. Take it down to 120. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. And the last thing I want to do is I want to go to border and I want to round these corners just a little bit over here. So I'll just increase this by 2 pixels. And you can see it rounds the corners just a tiny bit. That looks good. So I'm going to save the changes. And now let's go into the blurb module by clicking the gear icon here. And I'm going to move this over. And the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of this image because I don't want that. Click use icon. Okay, let's go to text and I'm going to change this title to Let's Meet Up. There we go. I'm going to scroll down here and I'm going to get rid of this dummy text. And I want to put in our address. So I'm going to copy and paste that in. So I'll come down here. I'll navigate to my website folder. Go to the home page, footer section, text, and here it is right here. Just Copy that. Close this. Paste it in here. And I'm going to go in here and just get rid of these spaces. Go back to the visual tab. There we go. That looks good. And now what I want to do is I want to add a icon since we got rid of the image. So we'll go to image and icon again. And click use icon, yes. And I'm going to add a building icon since we have our address here. So I'm just going to scroll through these icons and see if I can find it here. I must have passed it. Where are you, building icon? There you are. This little guy right here. There we go. Okay. And last I want to add a background color. I want to make it a very light gray, almost white. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to copy and paste it. I have it here. This is the one I want. I'll copy. Right click, paste. There we go. That looks good. And one thing I forgot to do, let me save the changes here. We're going to have to go back into our row module here and change this to a 3-column setup. There we go. It's much better because I want to have 3 of these. Okay, let's go back to the blurb module. And next one I want to do is I want to style this icon. So I'm going to click the design tab, image and icon, and I'm going to make it a dark blue instead of this green. And I have that color here as well. I'll copy that. I'll highlight this, right click and paste, and click the green check mark. Circle icon, no. I want to keep the placement at the top. You could change it to left and it would make it small but be to the left. I want to leave it top. Circle icon, you could put a circle around it. I don't want to do that. I do want to use the icon font size, and I'm going to decrease that to make it a little smaller here. 75 pixels, that looks good. Okay. Next one I want to do is stylize the title text. So we'll come here, H4, I'll leave it default, I'll leave it regular. I do want to center align it, so I'll click that. And I'm going to make it the same blue color as the background of our divider here. So I'll click this blue color here. And I'm going to increase the title text size. Make it nice and big. That looks good. I like that. I'm going to go ahead and style the body text. We'll leave it default, regular. I'm going to center line that as well. And I'm going to make that a kind of a darker gray. And I have that color here as well. At least I thought I did. I guess I don't. So let's do this. There we go. That looks good. Okay. I'm going to increase the body text size to 16 pixels. That looks good. Next what I want to do is I want to add some padding around this. You can see the body text and the icon are right up against the edge of the background. So we're going to go to spacing, and I'm going to add some padding on all 4 sides. We'll do 20 pixels. There we go. And now what I want to do is I want to add some left margin, and I'm going to click here and slide this to the right, and you can see it's adding. It added 25 pixels of margin space on the left here. So 25 pixels, I like that. That looks good. And I believe this looks like it's the same space. So that makes it nice and symmetrical. Okay. Next one I want to do is I want to add a box shadow, but I want to add an inner box shadow. So I'll click box shadow here. And this time I'm going to choose the inner box shadow. That looks nice. And I'm going to change the box shadow color. I'm going to make it just a little bit lighter. And that looks good, but I want to use what I have over here. There it is, right down here. I'll copy that. Come in here and paste. Click the green check mark. That looks good. All right. And last thing I want to do is add animation. So I'm going to add a simple slide animation. And what I want to do is I'll keep it center. I want to increase the duration, max it out. I'm going to keep the delay at 0. But I want to max out the intensity and the starting opacity. I want it to be completely opaque when it starts. The animation speed curve, I want to ease out this time. There we go, nice and smooth. All right, I think that's it for this blurb. So I'm going to save the changes here, and I'm going to save the page. That looks good. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this module here by clicking the duplicate module button. And then we're going to click on this cross, hold down, and we'll just drag it over and let go in the second column. And we'll repeat that process. Click, drag, and release. And we're going to come into this blurb module. Actually, I'll bring it over here. And the first thing I'm going to do is change the title text. And I'll scroll down here and change the body text. And next I want to change the icon. So I'll scroll down here, click image and icon. And this time I'm going to choose the light bulb icon right here. There we go. And now you can see that the bottom of this blurb module doesn't line up with this one. There's an easy way to fix that. We'll come over here to the design tab and we'll scroll down and click spacing. And what we're going to do is we're going to increase the bottom padding. So we're just going to click here and slide the mouse to the right. And you can see as I do that, it increases the bottom padding. And once it lines up, that looks good right there. Perfect. Okay. Last thing I want to do is I want to go into the animation here and I want to increase the animation delay. I want to create a domino effect like we did with the testimonial section on the homepage so that this loads first and then this loads a second later and then the third one over here loads a second after that. So we'll increase the animation delay to 1,000 milliseconds. There we go. And now we'll save the changes and we'll come over to this blurb module. And I'm going to change the title. Scroll down and change the body text as well. And now we'll change the icon. Click image and icon. And this time I'm going to choose this thumbs up here. That looks good. And now you can see this blur module is right against the edge of the row module. So we'll fix that first. We'll come down here to spacing. And what we're going to do is We're going to get rid of the left padding. We'll go to right, and this time we're going to increase this to 25. I'm sorry, that was the left margin, not padding. There we go. And now what I want to do is increase the bottom padding as well. That looks good. And last thing I need to do is I'm going to increase the animation delay on this. And since I want this to come in last, we're going to increase this to 2000 milliseconds. There we go. I'm going to save the changes. And you can see there's more space here than there is here. So we're going to go ahead and come in here and we'll fix that. And what we're going to do is go to Design, Spacing, and we're going to get rid of this left margin. There we go. And now you can see these are nice and evenly spaced. Everything looks good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save the changes and I'll save the page. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create a contact section like we did on the home page with a contact form. But we're going to do the easy way because I'm lazy. So we're going to come up here to the top menu and I'm going to right click and open the home page in a new tab. And I'm going to click and enable the Visual Builder. And I'm going to scroll down to the contact section. And what we're going to do is we're going to save this section as a section module in the Divi library. So we'll come up here and we'll click on this down arrow right here. And we'll have to name the layout. Just going to call it contact section. I'm not going to make it a global item because when we put it on the contact page, I'm going to get rid of this line here, the contact, as well as this divider line. And if I make it a global item, when I do that, it'll erase it on this contact section as well, which I do not want to do. We're going to create a new category called contact. And when you're ready, click Save the Library. Okay, so now we can delete that tab there. And I'm going to refresh the page. And then we'll come down here and we'll click the blue circle. And this time we're going to click Add from Library. And here you can see our contact section that we had just created. So we'll click that. And if I scroll down here, it's that easy. Here's our contact section. I'm going to delete this text module, so I'll just click the garbage can. And now I'm going to delete this divider, so I'll click the garbage can again. And I want to add some space between this first line of text and our cloud divider. So I'm going to come up here to the row module settings. And I'm going to go to Design, Spacing, and I'm going to add some more top padding. So I'll just click and drag this to the right, and you can see as I do, it adds some top padding. And we'll take it down to 100. Save the changes. That looks good. And now what I'm going to do is open this menu, and I'm going to save the page. Okay, now we're going to add a full width map showing our location. And since we already created the map on the home page and saved it as a global module, all we have to do is come down here and click this blue circle to add a new section, and click Add from Library, and click Los Angeles Map or whatever you saved the map as. And there we go. And the last thing we need to do is load our footer. So we'll come down and click the circle, add from library, and we'll click footer. And there's our professional looking footer. All right. So I'm going to scroll up here and I'm going to save this page. And I'm going to go ahead and exit the Visual Builder. And you can see our cool animation. There we go.